Now, there we are, finally. Good evening, everybody. Let's have some fun, kill some monsters, stay alive, good old business, and loot while we're at it. Okay, now, where do we need to go now? I'm pretty much at the beginning of everything here. I did already do the cellars here. Yeah, okay. Let's go to where we're crossing and clear this place out. Okay. So the zaps are still working. So why is that moving all choppy? Give me a sec. There's something not behaving as I wanted to. Okay. Let's see if that works out a little bit better now. Yeah, that's smooth. Okay. Ooh, hi there, little monsters. So, how's the resistance panel? Looking good, actually, for elite difficulty. Okay. So, do I want to go in there? I somehow doubt it. Seems to be like a bad idea. Poison dungeon. Then again, my character is stupidly strong. Let's have a tiny look-see at some. I am right now. Where am I heading towards to? Ah, yeah, I wanted to get that star pack, didn't I? There wasn't anything beyond that. No. Just skilling more and more of the Arcanist there. Yoren, hey there. So, it's Grim Dawn Night. Glad to have you here, Dr. So, okay. Let's go crazy. This character has a really decent poison resistance. I'm pretty positive that I should be able to deal with that. Even though this is for me since always one of the scariest places I've ever seen. Ah, that's why the game was choppy, because it was still installing Cryptic Necrodancer. That explains everything. Yeah, there we go. Stupid thing. Got down. Nice. Kite? Is there any game like Mortal Tale? Well, I'm looking for similar games lately to Kite, so I don't know of too many except for ACS and Tale of Immortal. But ask around here or on my Discord server, but I think the people there don't know either. But there's a lot of people on my Discord community that also have a deep love for that genre, and maybe somebody there knows something. That's the only thing that that crosses my mind right now. There we go. Because I hate to admit it, but a lot of the things that I play are, after all, recommendations. I think without the recommendations of the community, I wouldn't have noticed the Tale of Immortal. Yeah, the translation issue, Kieran. The translation issue. It's a real bummer. I don't know. I hope that Chinese games will find more translation in the future. But oh, come on, you totems! Don't be lazy. Okay. I'm absolutely baffled that I did it. You know, I just killed one of the scariest bosses in one of the scariest layers that I know of in the early game. Quite easily. I mean, okay, 65% poison resist do the trick quite well too. But I wouldn't be too surprised if there wouldn't be in the coming months or years more and more cultivation games in the Western market, because it really landed well. So a lot of people like that, and as far as I know how these things work, we're gonna see more of that. Bruno, hey there, long time no see. Happy to see you again. So, good. Hope you're feeling fine. I love those storm totems, they're so stupidly strong. AFK, welcome. So happy to see you as well. Hope you all had a nice Monday, as far as that's possible. My Monday wasn't too nice to me. Still got some gastrointestinal stuff from my kiddo from the kindergarten. Everybody else in the family is already way past it. I still can't eat. Whenever I eat something, I grow nauseous. It's really annoying. But beyond that, I'm feeling fine. Just have a hard time enjoying food lately. You hate Mondays? Well, I like Mondays because that's when I can start working. Oh man, such a cliche. I love my job. But weekend was super nice too. We had a really cool Halloween party with the kids and some friends. Finally friends again, you know. After 1 year of isolation, meeting a couple of friends on Halloween feels like major business of the year. Well, we love Halloween here too, because my son has his birthday around Halloween, a couple of days later, and therefore Halloween marks the beginning of a holiday week, basically, because he's going 4 years old now. More fun that we keep celebrating. And Halloween always was one of my favorite moments in the year. Well, it was, although really nasty this year, that I just can't eat like I want to. Whenever I do so, I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to get rid of it again. It's super annoying. Therefore, I was cooking for all those guests all that yummy food, and I couldn't enjoy it myself, or barely. Wow. Those slith are melting, though. I was free on Monday for over 2 years, so I started eating Tuesday. Yeah, Kieran, it's just like that. So, whenever you have to go back to a routine you don't like to, that's the bad day in the week. Oh man. Jeez. Poor things. Somebody call the police. I'm molesting these monsters. Okay, so what do we have here? Blueprints for glyphs and decorated cauldrons. Nifty. Sparkstone scepter. Well, nope. Praetorian face guard. It's pretty good stats. So, is there anything on it that I would like to? It's not as if it was as if my helm was that much better. But I like the pierce resistance on mine. I only got 36%. So, okay. I need some master. Booja 3 and Tail of Booja. Okay, thanks. Thanks for mentioning that. Wasn't one of those an untranslated title though? Yes, I had seen one of those. Steam features a lot of cool games lately in that genre. Opus Pendant. Ah, well. Only 14 to all damage. I only saw that all damage for a sec. Nope. Both are true. Okay. 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 I'll have to take a look at those two. Hope I don't forget to take them until the end of the stream. Nope. kind of like overpimped this week also my Death Knight in softcore. He's now a Life Leech incarnate. He's just standing there, killing stuff slow-mo, but not dying at all. I love it. Level 75, rats, Bjorn. That's when when slowly the really interesting stuff is wearable. Oh, 4-piece set. Yummy. So Death Knight might be actually something I'm inclined to play on hardcore day 2. Because it's pretty challenging, but extremely solid once it hits the spot. It's a pretty fun build. Or at least the one I'm playing there, the melee one. Yeah, Death Knight is Soldier Necromancer. I play him kind of like purely on melee attacks, on hit procs, and some retaliation stuff. Mostly vitality damage. Pretty insane. The amount of sustain is stupid. Yeah, I can't attack stuff with this character. I was so vibing for the Death Knight that I actually tried to auto-attack enemies again.
That skill's not ready.
Not on this one. Well, the one I'm playing is not even focusing that hard into ether damage, it's more vitality damage. Vitality, primary, ether, secondary, and the third category would be cold, but only to a minuscule amount from 1 or 2 skills. But the majority is vitality damage. With a good portion of ether damage, though. It's actually quite massive. The AoE is just a wee bit limited. Can we get here from here? Oh, that looks like chaos. Get zapped. Stupid reflexes are so tanky. Or lightning resistant. I think the latter. Piranha, hey there. Had any close calls with death on this character? Several. Or are we talking about another character than this Shaman here? There are always those little moments when heavy bosses show up, and yeah, I wanted to go down there. Lost my first attempt at being a necromancer using skeleton friends. Skeletons are so cool. I really like the necromancer class. One of my favorites so far. There's literally nothing that wasn't super fun that I have tried. The only thing that I haven't tried yet was a pure spellcasting Orion. Something that I want to try out one day too.
Can't do that.
The goth cliche. The Storm Totem character is so freaking chill though. Because you don't have to aim. You just have to take a good measure where to place down your totems and they do the rest of the job. This is really, really chill compared to other builds. Probably without hardcore, a little bit too chill. Probably. This way, just the sweet spot. Okay. So, we're doing this right now. Clearing out these maps really, really thoroughly. Wasn't Whitemeyer who contested one? Hate that ethereals. There's bosses like these, for example. When more than one of those show up at once, stuff can get really messy. This is the big weakness of this character. Stuff that's charging at you and is tanky. That's where I feel when I will lose this character, if, I'll just say if, not when, if I'll lose this character, I'm pretty sure it will be against something like that. Or at least there's a high chance that something just rushing me down will be the this one here. Take my slith necklaces, but leave me alone with your reward. Wish there would be an option for not taking the reward items anymore. Okay, take that, guys. There's a couple of enemies where I totally start to notice that lightning resistance starts to be an issue. It's a good thing that we got the resistance shred later. Ravna, it's like a triple from hardcore. Ravna, that's the Necron Queen, isn't it? With Ravna, I have the biggest issue with those stupid rocks falling from the ceiling. Or at least with melee builds, it's super annoying because you know, when my melee builds work like I want them to work, they don't need to move anymore. And enemies that drop rocks from the ceiling punish you quite hard for facing them. Okay, there's Sodden Holler. What do we have there? Funky legs. I got good at Ravna because I barked. She drops. Okay. Yeah, these items there are so fun. I was farming Kilrian's Shattered Soul the other day. A relic. I'm really glad that I haven't finished Grim Dawn for me already. You know, I have a habit with these games to really, really grind them up. And get oversated at some point. By no means have I tried out the majority of builds of Path of Exile, for example, but I've seen enough of that game, and I've clocked around 1k hours of that game. That's enough. I don't know why I should turn there at this point. I did not finish Forgotten Gods with an ultimate yet, though. Yeah, that's where Lil and me are going with our characters as soon as we're done with ultimate difficulty. We haven't finished the DLCs together once because we were like, yeah, too boring on normal, too boring on elite. We want to enjoy the content, and that's why we saved it for ultimate. Because I don't like to rush through it. I personally haven't finished Malmeth yet, but I did finish Fallen Gods. But I really hate it when I play that content and I'm bored. It's so good that you can't just reset after killing the Laborian into the next difficulty. It totally fits my playstyle. Overall, I'm very positively surprised in various ways about this game, how user-friendly it is in many ways. Really a lot of good stuff going on here. Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to Melmoth though, because the Ethereals were always my favorite baddies in this series. My favorite villains, basically. They get pretty much of a Lovecraft vibe to them. Like this whole otherworldly Eldritch thing. Like that. The only thing that I realized when I was like halfway through with Malmeth was that the maps seemed really large to me. But maybe that's because the under and over path thing that you're mentioning there, Kieran, that they seem that large. Alright, so I'm still missing Negan the Withered. Oh, I was just talking about you, Negan. Happy to see you. Happy to unfriend you. Overall, the dodge is really good. Smooth leather girdle. Ooh, powered items are showing up now. Okay.
That skill's not ready.
I don't feel like I need to be extremely thoroughly with elite difficulty now. Now that I put my toes into the situation, this character seems to be strong enough to rush forward again. I really want to meet ultimate difficulty as quick as possible, due to a simple reason: the legendary drop rate. Legendary items will make this character so much stronger, and the drop rate of legendary items in elite difficulty is pretty great. But first, let me get some rewards. Also, it's more exciting if we play this in a harder difficulty as quick as possible. +1 to all skills of a character class is always one of the juiciest things you can get. The only thing which is better is +2 to all skills of one class. I don't know if there's a +3.
Come see what's left.
Okay, man, I'm carrying around so much junk. Can't we reduce that a bit? Why am I carrying? What? I really got no clue. Can't really remember what my thoughts behind that were, if I had any, that is. Probably wanted to wear these things or remove some materials later on. Oh, there's a cliff. That's one thing that I know. I really don't want to start stockpiling things on hardcore, because I feel hardcore solo self-found is my favorite way to go. All the Nars family. I can't really say that I could remember what item that is. Okay, so let's push forward to get the job done as quick as possible. Kill the Logorian a second time. So, Molderate Fields. Just wanted to know where Balros and Hawkra are. Also, pushing towards ultimate difficulty quicker makes me more prone for hubris, so it's a good thing. It's entertainment. Ooh. I really can't get enough of these melting slip. I'm not gonna lie. It's just making me happy. Alright. Another cavern for a devotion shrine. Oh yeah, there's a totem. Another loot chance.
Yeah.
Though I gotta say, those Rift Hounds are not my favorite type of enemy here. I wonder if I can control Wind Devils with the pet attack command. I mean, they are technically no pets. But sometimes they are really behaving not too useful, generally. Ooh, triple boss situation with Mistborn. What was that even quadruple? Take that, filthy monsters. Okay, we got that. Ortosian Scrolls. What do we have here? Legendary Shoulders. Well, I'm wearing level 40 shoulders with, well, lightning cold damage. This one got elemental damage, though. Ether resistance. Do I need ether resistance? Well. Oh well, why not? This does sound better than the stuff I got right now. Especially the 750 armor extra. And even without mutated scales, there is already a almost no difference in my HP. So, definitely gonna stay with that. Even a big upgrade. I think that works. That's some weird AI. Yeah, sad. That's sad. But, well, can't change it. So, we're going to... I'm keeping those rares. I'm growing tired of browsing all those greens. Once I'm past level 50, I feel as if... Well, greens are good. Green items are always worth checking them out. Some of the best items, I guess, that you can find for your characters might be even among the green items, because they have a pretty high variance and a pretty high chance of individualization towards your needs. But they do lack some things, like uniqueness. Wasn't there a devotion shrine here? But there is a unique boss in here, at least. I was so sure about that shrine here. Well, whatever. Killing one of these bosses didn't hurt me either. Putrid Necklace of Renewal. Buffs to Iskandras. Oh, that's exactly what I'm wearing right now from the base type of the item. And it's actually really very, very similar. I really need a different amulet. Poison damage. As if I'd need that. Urging Touch. Ooh, lightning damage. But beyond that, I really would like to keep the runic bracers. Yeah, exactly, Bjorn. That's what I'm talking about. Green items can have really exactly what you need. Like, you can find the exact composition of things to round up your build, like exactly the kind of the resistance mixture and a big chunk of health, and probably exactly the kind of damages that you need. That's what I like about green items in general. But, well, for the sake of sanity, I'm not going to browse for these anymore. And I'll keep it with the monster infrequents that have unique properties. Because that's one cool thing about monster infrequents. They do come with pretty unique properties. Like, the global sky effigy here, perfect example. But I think this is even a pretty fixed item, as a matter of fact. This game is one of the most complicated item generation systems that I know of. And I love every little inch of it. Now, let's get in there. Good old flooded passage. I might be trying to tackle the extra boss in here, if I have the necessary amount of dynamite, that is. Let's try that. There's also a devotion shrine in here, this time for real.
That skill's not ready.
Yeah. Judging from the easiness how I plow through all these, it's definitely time to force towards the next difficulty.
Can't do that yet.
Some builds can't just do that. Okay. Let's do this. I don't know. 24 of 25. I have one devotion point available. The devotions will also add in a lot of firepower as well into this build, and survivability as well. Gotta be careful with this place here, though. Stretcher is the main. 2 debuffs and a massive level disadvantage here. But also sweet loot. Of course I missed a lot of shrines in normal. I don't do this to myself anymore to look for all of the shrines. I get what I get and I miss what I miss. And before I am done with ultimate difficulty, I will most likely have a full devotion point set. Because it really takes too long at this point, my taste. I really did change my gaming behavior with ARPGs in a way that I try to optimize my gaming speed a little bit as well, because, you know, time is the only resource in my life that I don't have endlessly. So... Exalted Stash. Come on, gimme, gimme. Arcanum sigils. Panettis. 44 elemental damage, though. 14% elemental resistance. There's a couple of things on that metal that are quite good for my taste. Supercharged. Well... where does that belong to? Ah, more Panetti stuff. So this item is totally a medal for Panetti casters, but I don't care. It gives me more elemental damage than the other one does. So. Yeah, that's true, Hyorin. That's true. It's actually, in terms of effectiveness and all, a lot better to grind out the devotion skills that you want to have as early as possible, because those levels on them make a lot of difference and they take a damn long time to grind up. Alright, there's Roll the Rothus. Right now I don't want to go in here if I can avoid it. Hardcore players playing like a chicken. I just realized that I totally forgot about the fact that this character even has Mirror of Erioptes, which actually can provide invulnerability for a moment. Okay. Shrapnel gun. So that's probably one of the most bonkers things about this build. It can regenerate via condition while dealing damage with totems. Because with all the other characters, it works like that. If you're dealing damage, the condition regeneration won't go live. but, you know, since somebody else is doing the damage, that is not the problem. Well, PvP in ARPGs is something that I don't play, Learn. It's way too aggravating, for me at least. I get easily triggered. And when my nerd rage is once triggered, I can't stop ranting. Okay, here we go. Almost 53 here. Yes. Well, that was definitely worth the scroll. Mirror of Eriopis is a nice spell. Quite happy to have it. Combine yourself with a Nightblade, Arcanist Nightblade, and then you even have 2 full invulnerability moves. Totally annoying. And slap a lot of cooldown reduction on your character. You must be a nightmare in PvP. Well, I haven't played Crucible on highest difficulty yet, but I read that the latest update, a couple of days ago, upgraded the rewards for highest difficulty Crucible players, so... that sounded quite interesting to me. Best PvP I've ever experienced was Jedi Academy. For me, it was Guild Wars 1. That was my favorite PvP in many, many aspects. And of course, League of Legends. I really liked the PvP there too. Before the game got bloated. Okay. More devotion. Such an overkill, but I love it. Love Guild Wars 1. You even led a group into the international arena. Oh yeah, cool. I was there too, man. I was there too. Hall of Heroes. Good times. Good times. The PvP there, for me, one of the most exhilarating experiences ever. Guild Wars 1 had a extremely balanced approach, very low power on every character. Probably way too slow though for modern standards. Let's take care. The Ancient Shambler is one of the heavy hitters there, and getting slapped by too many of his moves in a short period of time can be very, very... Okay. Now I can't keep... Now I can proceed chanting. Oh, Guild Wars 2 was one of the most harsh disappointments in my life. Honestly. I wanted to love that game so badly. Oh, thanks, Yorin. I totally derped on that ropes there. I mean, the big tragedy behind Guild Wars 2 was the world and the lore and how everything looked and how everything was put up was magnificent. There was really nothing wrong with that. I loved what they did there. But the gameplay itself was friggin' bland and dull. And totally not what the devs promised us. There once was a design manifesto that promised that grind and such things would not be the major aspect of the game, and they slapped the legendary items in the faces of the players, which were a worse grind than Guild Wars 1 ever provided for an item. And then we all had to farm hundreds of hours for a little short bow that could poop out unicorns. My wife at least loved that though. She still does. Many things about Guild Wars 2 were just so different from its predecessor in a bad way, if I might want to put it like that. Like, Guild Wars 1 was all strategic team play and a very structurized and analytic approach, actually. It was really a game where you were planning and trying to play out the encounters as good as possible with the best resources possible. And Guild Wars 2 was like, yeah, I got these 2 weapons and I got 5 skills on them and I swapped them. And the rest of my character class, I just slapped through everything. And if something bad happens, I just dodge roll. Dodge roll. And in Guild Wars 1, we didn't have those luxuries. If the enemies hurt you, they did hurt you. Couldn't dodge roll out of all the... it was just a completely different game. It was leaning into being more simple for the public. Yeah, probably. I felt as if it was also leaning more into a more action game-based approach, like more into the niche of a beat 'em up, and less into a classic RPG. That was my personal feeling about that. Sadly. I mean, I'm happy for all the people that like it. I've spent a lot of 100 hours in Guild Wars 2 that I really enjoyed, but I was very disappointed to see, in the end, that it's just not for me. It's not the kind of game, not the kind of MMO that I wanted to play. I wanted to have something as challenging as Guild Wars 1 in a tactical approach. And I haven't found any MMORPG ever since again that had this satisfying tactical gameplay ever again. Sadly. I was looking for something like that ever since Guild Wars 1, but probably it's also nostalgia. I'm not gonna lie about it. You know, sometimes you just have that bias about the good old times, TM, and that was a lot of damage. My bleed resistance is pretty crappy. Village. Okay. So I think there should be somewhere in the vicinity of the next couple of areas also an opportunity to get the upgraded version of this one here. Ooh, there's a couple of us.
Skill's not ready.
I was reading a couple of reviews about New World recently, and oh my god, am I happy that I didn't waste my money towards Amazon games, but I actually already expected it to be a disappointment in one way. Alright, see you later, Cronin.
Move along now,
time.
stranger.
So... whatever. Oh yeah. Let's see what we can get there. I'm always a little bit extra afraid about this type of enemy. The Mistborn are pretty nasty enemies because they got disables, and everything which features disables is something I take seriously in one way or another.
That skill's not ready.
Let's see if we get some boss spawn or Empowered Gems Arcane Chill. Seems like I got myself a replacement for the item there. The only thing... Oh, okay, the resistances are... Health is lacking. I think I'm so overstacked with defensive stats that I should be capable of... don't want to be too overcautious here. So there was one lightning global boss somewhere around these areas who drops that effigy really early. Later there's also a zone with Sky Clan global, but I really wonder if I'm not in the vicinity of that area.
I can't do that yet.
Boss I'm talking about is a unique one. Robot Snake Clan. So, hope I'll manage to get towards Warden Creek in this session. That would be cool. Would be the kind of progress that I'll have to see in one session. Back in evil Smurf Town. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that this Burial Cave mini dungeon here also had some... Come on guys, I know you're there. No? No, Burial Cave. Devotion Shrine, I know. Also, Ether Crystals! I love Ether Crystals! Such a good crafting material, you know. Just plain out valuable. That was quite costly. Flames Virtue. So let's see. Were I done with those? No, I weren't. So... Oh, I need to recheck the... No. Doesn't matter, I don't have to make that right now. Just wanted to finish that constellation while I was still remembering which one I wanted to finish next. Okay. Oh, I love these enemy clusters. They are so good for leveling. Just slap down a totem. Basically farms itself. With the storm totems, it's even better. I mean, I can't even farm both spots at once. Speaking about I love it, is there, I don't know, is there anybody out there knowing Crypt of the Necrodancer and liking it the way I do? I'm really bad at the game, but I really love it. It's one of my favorite roguelikes that I've played so far. Okay, there's spiders. Moldering Fields. We're in for a boss round.
Not ready.
It was a bit hard to get into it. Well, I have a lot of problems with the boss fights in Necrodancer. The levels I get into quite good, but the boss fights are an absolute nightmare for me.
That skill's not ready.
Resilient, but not dangerous. Silver Bolt. Legendary two-handed. Two-handed ranged. So let's get back to Devil's Crossing for a second. Ah, yeah, here, Bankroom. I knew I missed something. And short break for humanly needs. Gonna be right back, my dear friends. Get back into business. Now. Yeah. To get there.
That skill's not ready.
That, and now I really want to push just forward, you know. There's a little bit of a cellar up ahead, but did that include a devotion shrine? Well, I have to check. Bye, Briarthorn. Bye, Briarthorn. Really can't wait to see where this build will go in the long run. The Arcanist level 50 skill will also be another massive power-up, I think. Extra cooldown reduction damages. It's gonna be nifty. And if I remember correctly, no, it didn't have any resistances. That was a different skill. Really curious to see how far I'll get this dude. So far, I got further than I ever imagined I would get in this type of game. Okay. Nah, no devotion shrine down here. That was a false assumption, false hope, whatever. Okay, let's get those baddies out of the ground. I am really surprised about the sheer amount of raw that this build churns out. Oh, Milton Hard. I totally forgot about that one. So, Sodden Hollow. No. Ah, well, whatever. I don't have it in me to run after all these quests. Hey there, I just saw you guys and I thought I'd pop in and say zap. Here goes abandoned Warfront. That's where I need to find the fabric. Also, well, there's that second poison boss. Let's do this. Or 70%. Still a really decent amount of poison resist. The real nasty part here is that you're getting swarmed right from the get-go. You enter this place and there's already a friggin' army of poison monsters swarming in your face. I mean, if you're ready for that, it ain't that horrible, but if you don't see that coming, it's already the first big middle finger. Okay. And of course, there's also a big bad boss here. But if I remember correctly, this dungeon had more loot than the first one.
Can't do that yet.
Bye bye, buddy. That was fun. Lich Guard. Nope. The Adversary. Too bad. Here, Monsters Horde. The Final March. Is that one? No. Monsters take less physical damage and more elemental damage. It's It's more of a plus for me than anything else. I do understand why this build got nerfed, because what I'm playing here right now is still extremely powerful. Like, it's pretty ridiculous how strong this still is. Almost level 54. Getting there. Okay. A little bit oof, but till this point it's still the same. Yeah! It's insane, isn't it? That's why I'm rushing towards ultimate difficulty like that, because, you know, I need more difficulty here. But I mean, it's really good. The ultimate goal of hardcore is to get towards level 100. One day. Probably. I don't know. Let's see. Chosen set. Resist. Okay. So it was the amount of resistance shred you were doing before. Let's see. Oh, there's yet another totem. I just think that this build deals a incredible amount of damage for all the safety it provides. It's quite insane how much damage I'm allowed to do, even though I live so safely. Well, defensive ability reduction translates into more crits, so that's also a good thing, yeah. Oh yeah, there's one of them big baddies.
That skill's not ready.
Ethereal missile. Why do I have all of a sudden no more skills on? Pretty nasty effect. Colossal Fortress World. Blade Dancer's Talisman and Firestorm Scepter. That Ethereal Missive is pretty good. These things they don't drop too often.
That skill's not ready.
Oh, there's a devotion shrine back there. Need to get there. I know where that devotion shrine's at. I know which one that is. Okay. Can't enter over that way. Ooh, army ahead. When you're navigating over the map, not realizing that you're navigating yourself into the environment. How? Why is this guy hurting me so much? Alright. Here we're at Warden Creek's real estate. Also going to rescue Sparov's apprentice here. Let's go get that potion point. Oh, hi there's threshold. Hi there's threshold. Oh no, not the electrified bosses. Ow. Electrified bosses just take forever to die. Okay. Let's go downstairs.
I can't do that.
Hi, Darlet. Happy to see you. So, I could just leave this place, but I really have a hard time doing so.
That skill's not ready.
That one time when you got a decent enemy density, you know. And I also need to level up somewhere. I can't just go into ultimate difficulty with extremely low level. But let's leave that place nevertheless. After I've killed that bunch. Okay. Let's get out of here. There's not really much to gain here. I would be only moving further away from my actual goal. That's what it brings home.
That skill's not ready.
Guys, I know you're there. Don't be shy, just spawn. Maybe they don't spawn every time there. I love this place. Just a handful of enemies to say hi. Overseer's Eye of Celerity. Stunjacks. Now we got there. Nice. Warden Cellar. So tonight I'm not gonna play too much after I did the Warden. Still want to rest up a bit. I might be feeling not too super horrible right now, but I don't want to put it to the test too hard. Stupid antibiotics. That's I was just turning that fly into something way bigger. That was really unfortunate. Then I had to take antibiotics when the kiddo had that stupid thing. Okay. Get that spiders is.
That skill's not ready.
Kill speed down here, though, is really insane.
I can't do that yet.
Such a chill. Start to notice that I am slowly getting into that level range where leveling up just takes longer than before. There's always that point in the game where I really start to notice that I now have different a higher scaling of necessary HP. Okay, I mean, I don't want to overfarm, but I want to have that total. Totems are, for me, always too good to pass. Probably one of the most reliable sources of good loot. Especially recipes. Okay.
We can't do that yet.
And let's run.
That skill's not ready.
This is one of the more nasty totems. These enemies, they are so friggin' tanky. It's just insane. And if you let them, they also deal quite nasty damage. Sharpshooter's Glass Eye. I know that one. Storm Guard. +3 to Storm Totem. So delightful, but let's check this out. Lightning damage, skill cooldown reduction, extra lightning retaliation. It ain't a bad item at all. But I don't know. I just want to pick it up for now. Let's see. I'm not sure if I want to replace it, or if it would be actually smart to do so.
That skill's not
I
ready.
hate this party so much. Because death here is only one lapse of attention away. They're so friggin' fast, these enemies. You keep kiting them to no end.
That skill's not ready.
Caster offhand gives loads of energy and cooldown reduction. Yeah. Although the energy isn't that important for my build.
Can't do that.
The cooldown reduction is. I think at least. But the cooldown reduction is one of the most important stats for me. Although, considering everything, there is a maximum amount of totems that I can't place down. So, increasing the maximum amount of totems is a massive power-up, and I don't know how to replace that. So I highly doubt that this new item will be something that I want to use. Okay. Super hard totem, almost no rewards. Okay. What a pity.
I can't do that.
So the last couple of times I've been through this place, that door here was simply open, and I was allowed to skip through that room. I love it how this game interchanges the generation of barriers to change the feeling of the map. I'm not gonna lie, this feels like an entirely different dungeon right now. Because before I was allowed to skip over major parts of that area here. Okay, underground transit, getting closer.
I can't do that.
Too bad we got that amount of low combination. A little bit low amount of chat tonight somehow. Well, that's all. Gnarf, gnarf. Nasty doggos. Okay. This is one area which I usually farm out way harder. But tonight I don't believe. I really want to keep a lot of things on the minimum now. Oh, I don't want to go into the abandoned storerooms. That's a pretty optional area here. Yay! Another devotion shrine. Rhinestone leg guards. Slowly, enemies start dying a little bit slower, but it's also that area again where a lot of enemies seem to have pretty high lightning damage resistances.
I can't do that yet.
Oh, ether cluster. Also electrifying boss.
That skill's not ready.
Hey, Anchoride's head guard. No thanks. I love these parts where you get swarmed by a huge amount of enemies that just splat while they're running towards you. It's a very satisfying gameplay experience. Slowly starting to take this area a little bit more seriously because of the sheer amount of ether crystals hanging around here. Since they can nuke your character pretty hard, if your resistance is shabby, mine is not, but... Speaking about shabby resistances, Warden Creek in the second form, I'm already very scared, honestly.
That skill's not ready.
I hope he doesn't one-shot me there. Pretty sure that there's a good chance of me hitting level 55 before I get towards Golden Creek.
That skill's not ready.
Oh yeah, there's another boss here. Good old Gethrin, one of the more resilient bosses. Just a very, very reliable antagonist. almost there, I dare to say. Ow. Yeah, there's a couple of enemies that just seem to be not too impressed by my lightning damage here. Whereas other parts of the enemies just explode. Okay.
Can't do that yet.
One of the last couple of rooms. Those eyeballs, they are really resilient against my type of damage. Low level 55, just like I thought. I mean, it's not as if I would do anything too exciting with that, but we gotta get there. Already here. But with 80% ether resistance, there's not that much threat here in general.
Can't do that.
Being on maximum resistances is always a good way of making sure that you're not getting murdered directly in that new area. Well, whenever somebody's quite resilient against lightning damage, the fight really takes. Well, I'm mostly my biggest concern is that hand crossbow attack from Free in the second form. It's got a ranged attack that's quite scary.
That skill's not
Ripped
ready.
apart a lot of my characters, and I only got 30% bleeding resistance, so. But it's probably all gonna be fine. Let's see. That's the skill. Didn't hit me with a single projectile. I don't even want to know how much damage these projectiles would do. Yeah, okay. Inflict bleeding and, well, looks like around a... Whoa. Looks like around a 6 of my HP. I don't want to die! Did you just die, Creep? I hate that attack of this dude. I hate it so much. Memo to me, never ever again over in that area. This is just bad news. I limit my field of movement way too hard when I run there. This stupid hand crossbow attack of his is probably the worst thing about this whole enemy. Anywho, we did it. So, let's rejoice. I'm still alive. Although that was a very, very close call. Okay. But, doesn't matter. I did it. Somehow. Thank you, Fiorin. And now I'm saying goodnight a little bit earlier today. I'm just tired, and I think it's a good spot to log out for today. That made it look easy apart from the end. The end really scared me. He didn't look like he was going to die.
Move along. I'm here to speak.
Anyways, I hope we're going to have a good time tomorrow again. Hope I feel better then. We'll see. Anyways, see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for the good company there so far.